I didn't want Natalie's life to end. I wanted mine to. I wanted her to be happy. I wanted her to feel safe. These people, harassed, threatened, and intimidated me and anybody who tried to help me for so long, and the police wouldn't look. They wouldn't listen. They kept telling me I had to go in person. And, finally in August, I threatened to kill the people who were threatening my friends and family, and I threatened to take Rose and Alicia to court. They twisted that all out of proportion. They had been pushing me to do that since Natalie died. It took them almost a year to get me to say those things. Almost a year. The cops knew this was going on. They knew the whole time that it was fucking going on. Every officer that I talked to, I told it was going on. They didn't fucking care. They were interested in putting me on a mental health hold. They assumed at first that I had killed Natalie, and then afterwards they had to cover their own asses because they hadn't listened. They didn't care.
Hello?
Hey, Gary, is Jace there?
This is Jace.
Oh, wow, dude, you kind of sounded like your grandpa there for a minute.
No, it's me.
Very cool. How you doing?
Not too bad about you?
Not too good. I wanted to ask you some questions about everything that happened in chapel. I don't know if you're alright with that.
What?
The police, Officer Cody Stellhorst, being out in the middle of the road, me honking around town, chasing down the police.
Oh, yeah. That was a wild night.
Yeah. Officer Stellhorst thought he was going to run me out of town for trying to turn in them officers for ignoring me.
Jesus Christ.
Didn't work out too good.
No.
Well, it kind of did. They dropped the charges so that I couldn't use what happened in chapel to bring it up in my court case in Scotts Bluff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, what a bunch of assholes. I needed
Yeah,
them
no shit.
to push them charges so I could fight them in court, but they weren't interested.
Yeah.
You remember the night I lost my phone?
Yeah, I do.
How much do you remember about that? I just remember freaking out and that you weren't able to help me find it because you had to go somewhere.
No, we drove to your car that night. That was a different time, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, we went to... I don't remember where I went. Yeah, we go do something. I don't remember what it was, though.
Zach's engine. That engine that you had to take to Lodgepole.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember that now.
Do you remember on the back lot when I was showing you that stuff about Natalie and her dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, people didn't want to look at any of that. The police wouldn't look at any of that. I mean, it sucks. The only people that I could get to take a look at that were little kids.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, not that you're little kids. I mean, you're out of school and you're bigger than I am.
Yeah.
So, what do you remember about the night that the Sheriff DaCosta came and talked to me and that Stellhorst was over there?
I remember them pulling you out on the street, shining a flashlight at him. I think that's what you were doing. And then they stopped you right in front of Shawn's house. Talked to you for a second there, and then hahn dragged you over to Pump. And then they both parked in the middle of the fucking street. and with the lights on. That was nice. I told him to shut them off. Shawn was trying to sleep. And then Cody sat in his car while Hahn talked to you for a while, and then Hahn had me go get your cigarettes. And we sat there on the back of the rat, in the back of my pickup for a minute, but we didn't really hear much about anything. We gave Cody some shit, but other than that, not a whole lot.
How about when Cody Sellhorse had me pulled over there by where the old motel used to be on the west end of town?
Oh, you're down there doing donuts, not a lot?
Yep, that was the night.
We weren't really there for that, because we weren't stopped with you.
Yeah, I know.
I remember you doing donuts, and we seen the cop down there pulled you over.
Yep.
And they stopped you down at the end of town, the other end of town.
Yep.
When your car died, I think. Or something. You were trying to jumpstart or something down there, I think.
Yep, you helped me to get it started, and we got it down to your grandpa's place.
Yeah, and they pulled you over, and then you talked to I think it was Cody again for a while.
Yep, that was the night I was making fun of him for being a stuttering Stanley, because he was stuttering the whole time he was trying to kick me out. That was, those fucking son of a bitches, they could have taken my report so that I could have had documentation to defend myself against all of this, but just telling me I need to man up. Like, fuck, dude, you know? And then when she was shot, they didn't fucking care.
They're a bunch of pussies. They just care about themselves and giving out as many tickets as they can. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, they had pretended a couple of times that they were going to help me, but they weren't.
Yeah, I know.
They tried to pacify me with a fucking sandwich.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I tried to kill myself at Chapel Lake with some helium, and Cody Sellhorse, he pulled up in his the police pickup truck behind me. He noticed that I wasn't dead yet. I had the mask on my face still.
Yeah.
He realized I wasn't dead and went back over to the other side of Chapel Lake and just watched.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
They wanted me to kill myself.
Yeah.
So I called Brandon Jepson. You remember Brandon? Probably not.
No, I don't.
Yeah, he's the other Jepson family. When I was in high school, his sister and Alyssa Derry were like the two girls everybody had a crush on.
Yeah.
Kim was my first friend I ever knew I'd get to keep, but I was one of them who had a crush on Alyssa.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get in contact with people because I have been having fucking freakouts on Facebook because I couldn't get anybody to listen, and all of the officers treated me like that. Like, a lot of people left. They blocked me. They don't want to be my friends. They don't try to understand, you know?
Yeah.
Rory, I mean, shit, you know, he's known me for years. He knows me better than any of them fuckers. Jason, too. I don't understand why they didn't go talk to them, you know?
Yeah. And they don't want nothing to do with it. They're just trying to squash it and be done with it.
Yeah, they don't want to admit they did anything wrong.
Nope. They never will either.
I shouldn't have had to chase the cops down to try to get them to take a report. I mean...
Yeah, I know. Stupid as fuck.
How many people have you ever known that had to do that?
You're the only one, I think.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Your dad's probably about the one who would be the most useful, though. I mean, he knows a bit about Clearview.
Yeah, probably.
That place is fucking hell. They didn't care. They lied to me the whole time I was there.
Jesus.
Yeah, one lady even pretended that she was from the Department of Health and Human Services. There was a guy there named Geffen who talked to me that night, and Geffen told me that she wasn't really from the Department of Health and Human Services. They prevented me from making a report the whole time I was there. They prevented me from making a report everywhere. They didn't want to look at it.
Yeah.
You know, you remember Officer Jordan Anderson?
Yeah, that little fucker.
Yeah. Did you know that he was on heroin?
Was he really?
He was. He got sick from getting poked with a heroin needle. And turns out that he wasn't actually sick. He had a large amount of heroin in his system, and he needed to try to hide that somehow. Like, how do you inject yourself with a full syringe of heroin because you accidentally poked yourself in the finger?
God.
You remember that officer who got shot and he killed somebody outside of town?
What was his name, you remember?
I don't.
Only one I remember getting shot was the one in Big Springs.
Yep.
Is that him?
Yep. It wasn't Jordan Anderson, but
it was, fuck, I don't remember his name.
when they took me to the hospital in Sydney, Nebraska, because I ended up suicidal over all the shit that was happening in Boulder and not being able to see my friends or family. Like,
Yeah.
they were talking about that case. They were talking about how he was called a hero and all that because he got shot, but that really he basically just murdered the dude.
Well, that was a different time, though.
Yeah.
He got shot with these fucking sort of murder warrant without any body armor on. That was fucking smart.
Right. Well, I wasn't there for that. I was just there to hear them officers talking about how that dude had gotten shot and how he had basically he shouldn't have even been there. He shouldn't have shot the dude. There was, he basically instigated the situation. But that was Jordan Anderson. And, yeah, that was Jordan Anderson and two members of the Highway Patrol. Yeah. How's Brent doing?
I haven't seen him in a while. I think he's doing okay.
Which department's he with?
He's in Shawn County.
Yeah, I figured that. He said he didn't like being a state patrol officer because it was mostly giving people tickets for weed.
Yeah, probably is.
I'd like to talk to him sometime too. I miss the fuck out of that little bastard.
I think I got his number.
You think you could text it to me? Because I don't have anything to write it down and I won't remember it.
Yeah, I texted you.
Very nice. Do you remember much about my panic attacks there?
No, I don't.
You remember how happy I was to be in the shop?
Yeah.
I'm a funny fucker, ain't I?
Yeah, you are.
That's because you guys were positive as fuck,
Yeah, you usually are.
Tearing apart that fucking pickup.
Yeah.
Did you ever get that finished?
Yeah, we got it. Got her done.
Very cool. How's your pickup running?
Fine, good. I gotta get my license back, though.
That sucks.
Yeah, I got a DUI in September.
Dumbass.
Yeah, I drove the pump from Shawn's house.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. Stupid as shit, huh?
Yeah. That's what you get for drunk driving, dumbass. But yeah, dude, it is stupid as shit. Man, they let everybody in town drive home drunk from the bar every fucking night.
Yo, there's the one fucking guy, drives a little black Mazda. He fucking cruises town every night drunk as shit, like 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that gets caught.
What I don't get is old man Stegeman. Like, he goes through a 30 rack a night. He fucking drives everywhere. I guess Stegeman's getting pretty much into the alky thing, too.
Yep.
Every time I see him, all he ever asks me about is weed. No, dude, I don't ever bring weed across the Nebraska border. Not ever. I miss Jeff Baldridge, too. I mean, fuck, man.
Yeah.
All these damn Facebook bans, but the world needs to know the truth, you know? I mean, this is some fucked up shit.
Yeah, it is.
Is Molly Smith still working at Pumpkin Pantry?
Yeah.
You think you might be able to get her number for me?
She's not here very often.
Well, when she is, I mean, she's got some evidence on a flash drive thing for me, so.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, she's the one that went in with me to finally make the officers take my report. And yeah, the files that I have on that, they're corrupted. The police corrupted the shit out of a lot of my files when they stole my bag in August of last year.
Nice. That's fucked up.
Yeah, they stole a lot of evidence too. There's a lot of stuff missing in there. A lot of names of witnesses, a lot of the names of the perpetrators, a lot of the people who lied, and specifically who it was that lied and what they said.
Yeah.
You know, there's lots of people that know me that stood up for me that fucking know who I am. I thought hopefully that Candace would come forward eventually and tell the truth, especially after they found Natalie's killer, but she'd already been threatened by the cops by then. I mean, of course she's fucking scared shitless and pissed off too.
Yeah, I know.
They shouldn't have done that. She was threatened with being thrown out in the snow with her and her kids. Like, that is so fucked up.
Fucked up.
I did type a lot of mean stuff at her, though. I mean, justice for Natalie and rescuing lives, and, you know, if she'd have come forward about the stuff that happened just on the first night that I was there, I mean, that would have been something.
Yeah.
So now I got warrants in Nebraska. I can't go there. I got warrants in Colorado, so I can't go there. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming right now.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I was in the middle of the road with all my paperwork?
Where at?
Outside of your aunt's restaurant? The Rusty Bucket?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Told me to get in the pickup truck.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jace. I mean, like, nobody was willing to take a look or understand. They kept on telling me just to let it go, and I was not in a position where I could. I needed to be able to fight these guys. I can't just lay down and take it, you know?
Yeah, I know.
That, and these are actual predators. It's not like them framing me as some sort of fucking bad guy. These are actual predators, you know?
Yeah, I know.
I want to get a hold of Brent just because, like, he has access to things that I don't, but also I miss the little fucker.
Yeah.
There was an officer there in Cheyenne, 4th of July. He gave me a ride back to Chapel. They were supposed to help me with, basically, they told me they don't have internal affairs in Nebraska, so I got to talk to the Highway Patrol. Fucking Bill Burr, oh my god, dude. That fucking jackass.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't even try, you know?
Nope.
He said that it was being recorded, though, so,
That's good.
well, that depends. He might have been lying.
Yeah.
There was a lot of officers who said that what they had going on was being recorded, and then they were lying to me, and then later on they told me that it wasn't recorded, like Officer Amanda Jonas. That was in Longmont. They're protecting other officers. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of good people killed every year because of bad officers.
That's true.
You know, your grandpa told me that there was nothing I could do. They're crooked everywhere. He was fucking right.
Yeah, they are crooked everywhere. They expect everybody to trust them.
Right? When I was out in the middle of the road with all that paperwork out there, I needed the cops to stop and take a look at that. I shouldn't have had to do such crazy shit to try to get them to look.
Yeah, I know.
Getting people to make a statement, like most people, they don't want to write, first of all.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a lot of people that they assumed I was guilty to begin with, and then later when it turned out that I hadn't, they wanted to go back to other stuff that was just rumors, like Shawn did this and Shawn did that.
Yeah, they always do.
And then Cammy, like she thought just because Joseph Lopez was caught that, you know, people were gonna leave me alone finally, and they fucking didn't. They fucking, oh my god, they've been going at me ever since. I got people whose lives that I literally saved. Literally got in between them and the motherfucker trying to stab them, and they're like, "You're a fucking child molester and you're a fucking stalker," and I'm like, "No, dude. I left that situation in Virginia for a reason, you know."
Yeah. It's all fucked up.
Well, I'm probably gonna let you go. Can I call you on Sundays?
Yeah, go for it.
Badass. There's 3 phone numbers I'd like to get from you if I could. Brent's, Shawn's, and Brent's, Shawn's, Molly's, and Dana's.
All right.
If you could text those to me. I know Molly's will probably be a few days, but the sooner the better. So.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yes, sir. There's a lady I was supposed to call about Natalie. She used to give Natalie rides. I was gonna call her, but her phone's off. I'm gonna see if she can send me some information. I'm gonna try to pay her bill. I don't really have the money to do so. I'm living in my Jeep, but I want to talk to her. It's important. Like, you know, Natalie was a really good person, and I said a lot of really bad stuff that, you know, just because it's true doesn't mean that I should say it, and it just was the fact that I had to say it in order to.
Yeah, I know.
She was so good to me, dude. Like, she was good to me like a Jefferson, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to beat.
It is hard to beat. How's Derek doing?
What's that?
How's Derek doing?
He's got out of jail.
For what?
Oh, all sorts of shit, man.
Whew.
He's in there for 7 months.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going away for a lot longer than that.
Yeah, he said it sucks.
It does. Garden County, that's where the jail is for Dual County. That place fucking sucks too. It's like a bunch of flat bars inside of a regular jail cell. So like you're in a jail cell that's inside of a jail cell.
Yeah. Yeah, Derek was in Cheyenne County.
That's not a bad jail, actually.
No, he said it wasn't too bad, but he's ready to get out.
Yeah. They come through with the school once a year and have them look in at the people in the drunk tank. When Adam Frericks arrested me, they did that. They had a bunch of high school kids walk by and they were looking at me in there, and I'm like, man, this is so messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I was in there for? Disturbing the peace for yelling at somebody who was flipping my light on and off.
Jesus.
Nope, Jesus wasn't there for that.
Not that time, anyway.
Nope. So how you been?
Oh, not too bad. Bored. Work a lot.
I miss that shit.
Yeah.
Fucking doing sprinklers and fucking cutting trees and mixing cement.
Yeah, we don't do too much cement anymore.
Most of the
Every
stuff,
once in a while.
most of the stuff I learned about building, I learned from your family.
Yeah, we know a lot about it. That's for damn sure. Mostly growing up with my dad.
Yeah. I was damn good with a rake.
Yeah, me too.
I believe it.
I can rake the shit out of a yard, man.
Lanny Criswell, he was pretty good with a shovel.
Was he?
He was. Yeah, he could dig like you wouldn't believe. Of course, when we were out there splitting logs with your grampy, he wasn't too good at tossing the logs. He hit me in the head twice in one day.
Jeez.
Yeah. Them fucking cottonwoods.
Yeah. Things fucking suck.
That's some tough splitting and some shitty cutting.
Yes, it is.
Your grampy get any apple trees this year?
I don't think. I think 2.
Well, I might try to coordinate a visit with somebody at the border with Nebraska. Maybe try to get some apple and smoke myself some meat this year.
All right.
I got the stuff to do it. I mean, I'm living in my vehicle and basically being an outdoorsman. Right now, I've been in the city for a bit, but I mean, I've been doing a lot of outdoorsman type shit. I got myself a rabbit last week, 2 weeks ago. I did.
Good.
Dressed it up with some Thousand Island, threw it in some aluminum foil, and burned it over a pit. Took about 30 seconds. I should have kept the pelt, but I don't know. Probably ain't the best thing to be doing. It was snowing like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's true.
You going hunting this year?
Me and I don't go hunting.
Why the hell not?
Well, nobody in the family hunts except my stepdad.
Ah. Well, that sucks. I got all them bows over at Shawn's house.
Yeah, they're all my shit.
Yeah.
I live there now.
You live at Shawn's?
Yeah, Shawn moved to Sydney.
Oh, damn.
That's my house.
That sucks. He built that thing crooked as fuck.
Oh, fuck, man, you have no goddamn idea. We were trying to fix all that shit. Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking disaster over there.
It is. I don't know. I was trying to do my best to do as much patchwork as possible. Your dad's the best damn finisher in town, though. You ought to get him to come help.
Yeah, I know. We've had Rory while they're doing the outside work and shit.
What'd he say about all the crooked shit?
Oh, God. He's like, what the fuck did Shawn build?
Right?
And Grandpa's not fucking happy about it either, man. Grandpa's the one that paid for all of it.
Yeah.
Grandpa's like, what the fuck? Grandpa's like, he knows how to do it. Why didn't he do it right?
Well, he started off with good intentions, but by the time he'd fucked everything up, he's like, Schwartzy, I need your help.
Yeah, fuck, man. That place is a fucking disaster. The roof was all fucked up. My closet wasn't insulated at all. It was colder as shit, man. We don't have a fucking kitchen sink.
It took me 2 weeks to clear out the basement in there. He's like, I can't go in there. My family can't stay in the house, so we're staying up on 6th Street, 5th Street, whatever. That was when he cut his leg with the chainsaw.
Yeah. Oh, it's all fucking packed again.
Again?
Yep.
That is fucking nasty. That is like the nastiest. That basement, out of every basement I've been in town, that basement is the easiest for mice to get into.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I don't fucking doubt that.
And they ate right through that foam insulation.
They ate everything down there. They could find it, they fucking ate it.
Yeah. Well, Shawn had me throw away most of the kids' toys because they were pretty well mouse shit and rat shit. I didn't even realize there were rats in Nebraska till I was in that basement.
No shit. Yeah, we had to kill a bunch of them when we were in there. set up poison fucking everywhere. Finally, got rid of them bastards, but.
You know what's the best thing for keeping mice out of your shit?
What?
Them caramello candy bars.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you break off one little chunk and set it somewhere, and you can surround it with mouse traps. Even if there's a dead mouse in every mouse trap, then mice will still run through to get it.
Yeah.
It's better than peanut butter.
Yeah, we just set up that fucking decon everywhere. Them little bastards ate it. They all died.
So you got rid of the mice?
Yeah, finally. A few months ago. You could just hear them fuckers running around on the walls and ceiling and shit all the time.
I was gonna try to sell them bows to make some money, but I'm not gonna be able to go back and get them.
Yeah.
Dana lives pretty close to Scotts Bluff, don't he?
No, he lives the other. He lives by the flat.
Oh, damn. I know that area.
He lives up by Tryon. I know where that is.
Well, I saw him last time I was in Chapel. We had a pretty decent conversation about how shitty the cops are and the history of shitty cops in Chapel, Nebraska.
Yeah, it's a long fucking history, man.
Fuck, between,
a long fucking history.
I think between Danny Weezer and Jim Haith, I mean, that was probably the best start to a bunch of shitty fucking cops we could have had.
Yeah, I was.
Jim Haith helping to cover up a murder, and Danny Weezer jumping out of his fucking vehicle drunk as a skunk in his underwear to shoot a dude.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah. And people think I'm the one who's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Everybody else is.
Right? I don't... I say it like it is, you know? But, like, when I'm severely overwhelmed, like I have been for the last 2 years, like, it's difficult to explain stuff when I'm overwhelmed, and then people take advantage of that and get me even more overwhelmed, you know?
Yeah, I know.
I like to talk to Baldrige, though. Like, that guy helps to center my mind. He's a little more... Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess he's aware of a lot of the situations that I've been in. He understands a lot of them because he knows a lot of the criminal element. And he also knows a lot of the decent folks like you guys. I can't believe you was drunk driving, you fucking dumbass.
Yeah, I get my license back tomorrow, I think.
That's good.
My truck still runs like a fucking champ, so.
You still lifting?
Oh,
I never got them paintings finished in there. Of course, I got kicked out of Chapel for that whole gas incident over at Jamie's. That was so fucked up.
yeah. Yeah, I know.
They didn't even talk to me until I'd had gas, like, I'd been breathing in gas fumes for about 20 minutes by the time they came and talked to me. I didn't even know what the fuck I told them.
Yeah.
I had a panic attack over that. They told me if I said I was mentally ill and dangerous that they would help me get disability finally. Because I have them severe panic attacks and shit. And then they kicked me out of town instead.
Jesus fuck.
Right?
What the fuck, man?
They always did that to me. Like, you know how you're not a legal adult in Nebraska till you're 19?
Yeah.
Yeah, they told me that they couldn't emancipate me when I was 17 over my mom's cocaine incident. And then at 18, when I was telling you about Adam arresting me there at the Colton Boys and Girls Home for the flipping on and off of the lights, they emancipated me so they could charge me with that as an adult. I was like, I thought you didn't have emancipation laws in Nebraska.
What the fuck?
Yeah. They were supposed to help me out with the formal reward program so I could go to college, but I was trying. I mean, shit, I was living in, you remember where Nick Van Winkle used to live?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Kim Jepson and Terry Jepson and Little Jay's house when I was growing up. And when I got out of the fucking system, they put me up in their garage, up in the loft.
Hell yeah.
But trying to go to college from there with no vehicle, no driver's license, no ID, no nothing. It was Paulie Olson who helped me with that shit. her and God, what's the treasurer's name?
Oh shit, I don't even remember.
It's not Frericks, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
I remember his daughter's name.
God damn, I don't know.
Fornander.
Yeah, there you go.
Fornander, yeah. Fornander and Polly Olson, they're the ones that helped me sign to get my my ID so that I could have a state ID at least.
Yeah.
That sucked. I mean, for the former reward program, I went in there like 8 times by myself. They kept on blowing me off. I was like, shit, I need somebody to go in there with me because, I mean, this is eating all my resources to try to get this. I really want to get an education. They just weren't having it. So, you got them bows out there. Why don't you fucking practice with them a bit? That'll give you something to do.
Yeah, good. Ain't got nothing else to do, so.
There's enough of them out there. There's 7 bows and a crossbow out there.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I don't remember what all else is out there. I think, well, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, there might even be some evidence from my cases out there. Just with them warrants, I don't have access to any of that shit. I won't be back to chapel for a while. If I can get a case going, then I'll be back sooner rather than later. But I got to get the case going against the officers in chapel.
Yeah.
And that'll take some people who are eyewitnesses, you know.
Yep.
So I got to try to get a statement from everybody. I got to try to get one from Zach. I got to try to get one from Polly Olson. I got to get one from Morgan. I got to get one from Tom Nelson. I got to get one from all of those people. They just weren't understanding, you know. I was trying to explain to them what was going on. Polly actually gave me a phone number that I'd called like 8 different times. She's like, these people will help you out. That's their job. And I called them up, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to do anything for you. We're not even going to look into it. But that's the thing. People didn't think I was trying, but, you know, I was. I was going to my therapy appointments, and all that was costing me every bit of money that I had.
Yeah.
Folks kept telling me to get a job, not understanding that I'm having to go from court date to court date to court date.
Yep.
So they got me on a $5,000 bond in Scotts Bluff, or well, Gearing, because that's where the Scotts Bluff court is. So if I go back to Nebraska, they're going to want $5,000 in order to release me. I'm not paying them a penny of that.
$5,000 bond would be $500 to release you.
Yeah, well, that's if you can get a bondsman to help and somebody else to help out with it. If I end up in jail, I'm not even going to have the money to make phone calls.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I guess I should probably hang up on you and hope you find them numbers real quick and are able to text them to me.
Yeah, I'll text you real quick.
Make sure you write down whose they are so that I know who it is.
Yeah, I'll text the number, text you the name, and text you the number, and so on.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, you be safe, Jace.
All right, you too.
Hey, tell everybody I love them and I miss them.
All right, I will.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, it hung up that time.